This is Triple R Financial, and this is my debunk video on this Kevin O'Leary, aka Mr. Wonderful video. Now check it out.
Stop buying coffee for $5.50. You go to work, you spend $15 on a sandwich. What are you, an idiot? It costs you 99 cents to make a sandwich at home and bring it with you. You start to add that up every day, it's a ton of money. Most people, particularly working in metropolitan cities that are just starting out on their job, making their first 60,000, piss away about 15,000 a year on stupid stuff. And that's what they should stop doing. Stop buying coffee for $5.50.
Now this is my debunk video on this Kevin O'Leary short, aka Mr. Wonderful. Number one, money is relative. Now, as a financial expert would say, you cannot save a ton of money in the short term by cutting back on your food expenses. The only way to save money on your food is in the long term. I mean, when I say long term, I mean 10, 20, 30, 40 years of being an employee. Short term. Matter of fact, do the math. In the long term, you can save money by cutting back on your food. Again, coffee is food. Now, in the short run, you won't. You don't save money by eating at home, by buying a bulk. In the short term, you don't do that. But in the long term, and when I say long term, I mean 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years. Matter of fact, that's why they teach children math in school. Math. As a matter of fact, I've had hundreds of jobs in my career. And believe me, when I was single, I got so much wrong financial advice. Wrong advice. Now again, Kevin O'Leary don't have time to explain this. In the short term, you can see. In the short term, you don't save money on your food expenses. Only in the long term, you can save a ton of money. Long term. What if I do the math? You buy a coffee, $1 a day, and guess what? You're paying for the convenience. That's number one. You buy a cup of coffee, and guess what? The business that you bought the coffee from, I'm assuming you bought the coffee from a store, pre-made. Guess what? That styrofoam cup, that business had to, most small businesses would buy the paper cups in bulk to save money on the business end. And other materials they buy in bulk. As a matter of fact, the short term, for example, I love it. Make coffee at home, okay. Only the long. Okay, think about do the math. Do the math. You're single. You have no coffee machine. You have no coffee. You have nothing at home. You go. You buy a coffee maker. The cheapest coffee maker. Okay, for example, let's say the cheapest coffee maker is $50. Boom, $50. Now, when I was young, coffee makers were very expensive to have at home. Matter of fact, today, these young people are so lucky. You have these coffee makers with these coffee cups, and you just put it in the machine and whoop. Like in my youth, you have to buy the coffee. Then you have to buy the liners, and and if you want to, you could buy some additional parts. Let's use an example. You buy a coffee maker, $50. You buy a can of coffee. Okay, let's say you have one of those old coffee machines, and you have to buy a can of coffee. The can of coffee. Let's say the can of coffee is $10, and let's say it could make, in this example, 100 cups of coffee. As a matter of fact, do the math. You have a coffee maker, $50. You buy a can of coffee, $10, it can make 100 cups. If you follow if you use the exact amounts, it will make you 100 cups of coffee. Cool. You have one of those old machines where you need the coffee liners, and let's say the coffee liners are $5. Now, matter of fact, do your homework, do the math. Again, in the long term, you can save money, ton of money. But in the short term, you can't. Short term, no difference between short term and long term. This is Triple R Financial. Please like and subscribe. Please share my message. Triple R Financial out.